Okay, as you can tell from the title of this video, this is going to be a career review video of the wrestler Edge. He just retired this year. Now I should have done a video like this close to the time when it was a bit more relevant, but everyone was making videos then. I didn't want my videos to get lost in the shuffle. I didn't want to find myself saying things that I'd heard everybody else saying, so I thought I'd give it a while, let me reflect more on his career, so then when I do make my video, I'm not just repeating the same things over and over again that everyone else has said. And if I do repeat anything someone else has said, then it's something that it's an opinion that I've come to form myself, and it's not just something I've picked up. Because I don't like to watch videos on a certain subject and then do one on it myself, because I tend to say some stuff that I've just heard already because I think, oh, that's a good idea, and then I actually start thinking that. So now I've had the time to think basically about, I'm blowing on about that. Anyway, let's get straight into it. Edge started his career, well, he started in the WWF in June 1998, and he wrestled up until April 2011. Almost a 13-year career, doing the maths quickly in my head. Yeah, he's had a very good career. Like the highlights, he had the world title 7 times, the WWE title 4 times, IC title 5 times, US title once, tag team titles 14 times with Christian, Benoit, Hulk Hogan, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, and Rey Mysterio. He won the King of the Ring in 2001, which, when you win the King of the Ring, it signifies a big singles push that they do believe in you. Guys like Bret Hart, Triple H, Steve Austin have all won the King of the Ring. Mick Foley may have won it one year. No, I don't think he did. Yeah, Money in the Bank in 2005, which definitely signifies that they want to put something behind it, because they're basically giving you the world title there. And then the Royal Rumble in 2010, which again means they do believe in you and they do want to put something behind you. So Edge really was given all the tools by the WWE. The WWE did believe in him, they did like him, and he was pushed from the get-go basically. He started off in a feud with Gangrel, and then he finally did, well, he didn't start off like that, but my first memories of Edge, and when I really first started to take notice of him, was in his feud with Gangrel, and then when he joined the Brood, and then he became part of that. And it was a faction that everyone likes to look back and going, oh, it's cool, it's vampires, it's this or that, it's counterculture, I love it. I don't really like it that much. They just seem like a bit of a jobber group, in my opinion, like looking back on it. They weren't anything special. Edge would then break off from Gangrel with Christian, and then form the tag team Edge and Christian, which was an amazing tag team, and I call it the TLC era of tag team wrestling, which is, in my opinion, the best era of tag team wrestling, when you had the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian all feuding with each other, all going up against each other in different matches. You had the Hardys and Edge and Christian in like a best out of 5 series or something like that for the services of Terry Reynolds. In the end, Edge and Christian won that. But they had cage matches together, ladder matches. It was amazing. Then when the Dudleys got put involved, in they added tables. The Dudleys were the table masters, Edge and Christian were the chair masters, and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys were the ladder masters. They had really good chemistry together, and it was fantastic for the fans. And me being, like, what was that, like 99 to like 2001, so I was like 11 to 13 years old, watching that as like a young teenager. Like, it was fantastic watching it. I was in the height of my markdom as a wrestling fan, and it was cool. Everyone in school was listening to it. Everyone in school was watching wrestling, sorry. So wrestling was cool, and I was really enjoying this feud, and I could talk about it to everyone, like all my friends watched wrestling, and it's like the peak of my fandom. So I look back on Edge's career, especially at this point, very, very fondly. I didn't really see tag team wrestling as too special, but they were stealing the show. And although I might have been paying more attention to the Rock's feuds and Austin and Triple H and the like, these are the guys who were stealing the show with their amazing gimmick matches. And they had gimmick matches, and they did overdo it a little bit, but they were amazing, and they did break their bodies, as that happened later on. Edge broke his neck or something like that. He had back problems, neck problems, which forced him to retire later on. But yeah, fantastic tag team. The stuff they did about, for the benefit of those with flash photography, they do poses and they just do this, Edge and Christian. That was so hilarious and such a good catchphrase and so funny. And the stuff they did with Kurt Angle when he sort of came in with them, it's just very, very funny stuff. And I was like a mark back then, so I didn't really like the heels. But I was entertained by their skits they used to do backstage, which was weird for me because I was just a mark and used to only like their faces. Then he went solo around about the time of the invasion, which was 2001. Him and Christian split off from each other. That was around the time Edge won the King of the Ring, so they had a little feud against each other. I remember thinking that I don't really like either of these, and it was boring me at the time. And looking back, it was a decent little feud. But I just saw them both like as quite vanilla, quite similar, and I didn't know why they were feuding with each other. And I saw them both as heels, even though Edge had turned face. I didn't like what was going on. Highlight of that feud was Christian breaking a massive trophy over Edge. I remember that. I can't remember why he got the trophy. Then we got his World Championship run when he did return from injury, and it was the brand split had happened. Then he returned to Raw and he won Money in the Bank. He beat, I might have just skipped out a little bit of his career, maybe the tag team with Rey Mysterio and stuff like that, but I wasn't really watching wrestling that much at that time. I'd got a bit of hiatus myself, so I've not got much to say about that. But then yeah, the world title run is, I was paying a little bit more attention to wrestling then as I was in 2003, yeah, and I remember thinking that I wasn't behind Edge at all. He wasn't a viable world champion in my eyes, and the fact that he won the world title really annoyed me, and I thought that they should get the title off him really quickly. And then the heel turn, Lita-gate happened. The news broke that Lita had been having an affair with Edge. Lita was engaged to Matt Hardy, and Edge was married himself to, was it Ken Shamrock's sister? No, Val Venus' sister, sorry. And I was like, what a scumbag thing to do. I was like 16, 17 at the time, and I was like, what a scumbag. Edge is a knobhead. And I really hated him, and I really wanted WWE to fire him. Then they put him in a feud, him against Matt Hardy, and they had a few decent matches together, and really high emotion matches, because this was real life stuff. Matt Hardy's fiance cheated on him with Edge, and then got put in a feud together. You know, really good stuff. At that time, Matt Hardy worked a few matches for ROH, I believe, because he was fired by the WWE and then was rehired for this feud. And then when he came back, they made it look like he wasn't supposed to be there, and he was like, oh, watch ROH and stuff like that on WWE TV. So WWE did ROH a little favour there, didn't they? But yeah, I remember absolutely hating him during the Lita thing, and that might have all actually been a work. We might find out in like 20 years time that it was work. I don't think it was. I think it was a shoot. But still, when they worked those matches, you know, fantastic heel heat, and way to go WWE for really exploiting that. Next they did the La Familia angle, where Edge started going out with Vicky Guerrero after Lita had retired. Again, massive heel heat on Edge, where everyone was hating on Edge because, oh, this is Eddie Guerrero's ex-wife, and Eddie Guerrero was beloved by wrestling fans, and he just passed away tragically, and Edge had gone and stole his wife. We all hated that. And it was fantastic heel. This is when I started to come around, and this is when I started to like Edge, because the heel promos that he would cut, and this is when I started getting more wise to the fact that this is just a job for him, and he's playing a bad guy role just like a TV character. And I'd always known wrestling wasn't quote unquote real, but at the time this was all happening, at the time when this was all happening, that's when I started to really get into the fact that, right, this is a work. Everyone's working on the same page, and I should just enjoy it for what it is and stop hating on the heels. So yeah, this Edge really won me over and was, in my eyes, the top heel in the company, along with MVP. MVP was fantastic on the mic as a heel at this time, but Edge was that much better. He was the world champion, and he had so much heat, and everybody hated him. And I had a friend of mine who was a bit of more of a mark, and he used to really hate on Edge and be like, oh, Edge is this, Edge is that, and I was like, oh, he's just doing his job. But you know, Edge did really get that going, and you know, the Vicky Guerrero stuff. Then he'd have Chavo Guerrero as his little Joey, and then he'd have the Major Brothers, who's Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins now, little like watching out for him and like getting involved in his matches, both dressed as Edge, which was a fantastic little thing to do, like dressing up two guys to look exactly like you. That was so funny and so clever. Then he got injured. I can't remember if he got injured as he was heel. He got injured when he was tag teaming with Chris Jericho, and they'd just won the Unified Tag Team titles, and it was a massive shame because we were all looking so forward to seeing Edge and Jericho defend the tag team titles. They were a dream tag team. We really wanted to see this, and then Edge gets injured straight away, and it was just like, oh no, terrible. Then he finally returned at the Royal Rumble and won the Royal Rumble. I remember watching it with a few of my teammates, and one of them doesn't watch wrestling, was like, Edge is going to win the Rumble, Edge is going to win the Rumble. He didn't realise that Edge had been away. He doesn't even watch wrestling, but he was like, Edge is going to win the Rumble, and he was just so cocky about it afterwards when he's like, I knew Edge was going to win the Rumble, and I was like, oh no, well done, knobhead. But yeah, Edge's returned, but I thought he was really flat when he returned, you know. He'd put on a tiny bit of weight, and just enough so it was noticeable, but not enough to really make us like make him like out of shape, for example. But yeah, he just seemed sluggish for a long time, up until around the time he had the Alberto Del Rio feud, the last feud of his career. And that's when he just started to pick himself up again, in my opinion. And then he beat Alberto Del Rio at WrestleMania, and I was so hoping for Del Rio to win at WrestleMania. And then Edge won, and I was feeling deflated. And then Edge retired. And then it really made me think, why didn't they get Del Rio to beat Edge and really put him over before Edge went away and retired? Who knows? Probably wanted to give Edge that one last hurrah, but yeah, Edge has had to retire now through a back injury, and all I can say is, Edge, thank you for the memories. You, in hindsight, you've been a fantastic worker. He put his body through so much. Watching back the TLC matches, that era of tag team wrestling, the stunts he was doing, going through ladders, doing this, doing that, going through tables, being hit with chairs. He did so much to his body for the benefit of himself, obviously, so he could get promoted through the company, so the fans would love him. But still, he did it for our entertainment. Obviously, it was a means to an end for him, so he could get paid and achieve his goal. But still, he did do it for us to some extent, and I thank him for providing me with countless hours of entertainment over the years. So yeah, thank you, Edge. What are your lasting impressions of Edge now he's retired? Do you think he'll ever return? I think he may return. I think there may be some sort of operation that he could do where he can come back someday, maybe. But yeah, this is my basically review of Edge's career. This is what I think of him, and on the grand scale of things, if I was to rate Edge as a worker, as a wrestler, as a pro wrestler out of 10, I'd probably give him something like 8.5. I won't give him any higher just because he didn't really draw that much. He wasn't a fantastic superstar, so he wasn't a 10. So he couldn't have been an amazing draw. He wasn't an amazing in-ring worker like Kurt Angle, but he was really dedicated. He was a good worker, don't get me wrong, and he was a reasonable draw. So yeah, with that, I am out. Please let me know what you think of Edge in his career, and please let me know highlights of his career, lowlights. Did you like him? Did you not like him? How would you rate him out of 10? How would you rate him on a scale of 100 or whatever you want to give it? Would you give him an A plus, a B minus, whatever? I don't know how the American school grading system works. But yeah, give me a rating out of 10 for Edge down there. What would you rate him out of 10, his overall career? And with that, I'm out. Thank you very much for watching.